Nina, tomorrow my family is going to be coming over to the house.
What? They're coming tomorrow?
That's right, and my lovely aunt will be coming out to the house as well, so make sure you clean every nook and cranny of the house.
What time do you think they'll be getting here?
I believe 11:30 or so.
Are they going to be stopping by for lunch and then heading home?
Well, of course they will.
What am I going to do? What do you think I should have made up for all of them?
Don't ask me something like that. You should be able to think up something like that by yourself. Just make sure that whatever it is you cook, it isn't something crazy or weird.
But I'm not sure what they all like to eat or even can eat. How about this? How about I make hamburgers for lunch?
Hey, don't you start getting lazy with the lunches now, too. I want you to put some effort into whatever you cook and make it fancy. If they all begin to think that I got a wife who doesn't even know how to properly cook, then I'll be the one who's embarrassed.
But the supermarkets aren't really open in this area anymore. And as for what we have in the fridge currently, none of it can really be used to make something to your liking for tomorrow.
Then you can go out tomorrow morning and then get home as quick as possible to start cooking.
But most of the supermarkets around here don't open until around 9. Going out to pick up everything I would need and then coming right back home to start cooking would mean I'd only get close to an hour and a half to cook.
Then you need to figure out some way to make all of that work so that you have lunch ready by 11:30. And don't forget about cleaning up the house for us. My aunt is a clean freak and will not shut up about the house if it's not spotless when she gets here. And don't forget about cleaning the front yard and backyard up. She's the kind of person where if she sees even a single weed growing, she'll go wild.
You need me to clean up the yard as well before then? Today and tomorrow is only rain, so having to go out and do all of that for you by then will be tough for me. And if I already have to go out shopping tomorrow morning, then I don't think I'll have enough time to get that taken care of as well.
Then you'd better get to it right now. Rain has nothing to do with you getting your job done, so make sure you get it done and that you get it done right.
Luke, it's already past 9 now and I can't see out there. Do you expect me to carry a flashlight around all night trying to pick weeds one-handed? Had you just told me about this a little bit sooner, then I could have actually done some work out there. I'm sorry, but at this point of the night, I just can't.
There was no other option for me since I only just got this message from my aunt a little bit ago. They weren't able to come around during the holidays last year, so they're wanting to come now. They'll all be coming out here, leaving behind whatever else they were doing to say hi to us, which is why I want everything to be perfect for when they all get here.
I understand what you're wanting, but with all these things I have to get done starting right now, it's too much. I still have to get your dinner cleaned up and do the laundry for you. If I have to also clean up the entire house and go out and weed, then it's going to be the break of dawn by the time I'm finished with all of that.
As long as you get everything done before the family arrives, that's all that matters. Forget about sleep and get things ready.
So you're asking me to stay up all night now?
Well, if you go to sleep, you won't be able to do everything in time, right? So you'd better get to work right now if you want to have any downtime at all. And if tomorrow there's even a single speck of dust on the ground, a single weed out in the garden beds, or something off about the food you cook up, you can forget about having any lunch.
Aren't you taking things way too far by saying that?
Are you gonna go against what I've asked? For someone who can't even survive without me around, don't you even dare! You haven't forgotten yet, have you? I'm the one that made you, a woman who left her job a year ago now because she can't work, my wife.
You're the one not remembering that correctly, though. I had to leave that job because I was being bullied by my boss at the time.
Well, getting along with your boss so that you don't get bullied is part of being a responsible adult. But for someone like you who can't even communicate with others properly, it makes sense why you can't even work out there. You even said it yourself that you were so relieved to be made my wife, right? You felt better no longer having to work for a company, correct?
The last place I had to work made me depressed. So, of course, getting out of there made me feel relieved and everything.
Jumping to the end here, you're not meant to work in the real world like other women can. In other words, the only way you can survive is by having me as your husband, right? Which means you understand a little better now what you're supposed to be doing, right? If you don't want to be kicked out of this house and my family, then you need to make sure to get your job done the correct way here. Hey, Nina, there's a silver flash drive on my desk upstairs, right? I was gonna put it in my bag this morning, but forgot about it because I was in such a rush. I want you to go and grab it and bring it to my office right now.
What? You need it right now?
I do. It's gonna be very important for my tasks later this afternoon.
I'm sorry. Getting that out to you right now isn't going to happen.
Why can't you do as I've said?
Because I'm in the hospital right now, Luke.
Huh? Why are you in a place like that?
Remember how last night that really hot oil from the pan I was cooking in got all over me? Well, it burned me worse than I thought, and this morning I woke up with some serious blistering on me. So the only choice I had was to come here and have the burns looked at.
Oh, you're talking about that? You really are such a clumsy idiot, aren't you?
The reason that happened was because you threw that plastic bottle at me, though. The reason I ended up burnt is because you did something so stupid while I was cooking with oil.
Well, it's your fault for not catching it properly, right? So don't you dare start blaming me for that.
Recently, Luke, I've noticed that you've been chucking a lot of random things at me. Something like that is really dangerous, so I'd like you to cut it out. This wasn't even the first time I got hurt because of it either.
You're only getting hurt because your reflexes are so poor, right? And what makes you think you can even go to the hospital when all you are is a housewife? You're wasting away our medical insurance, aren't you?
So, you're going to tell me that I can't go to the hospital at all now because I'm a housewife?
Well, it's not like you're the one making any money, right? Don't you find that you're living a little bit too luxurious going to the hospital over a small little burn from some cooking oil?
So, I'm not even allowed to bring myself into the hospital to get help anymore? What the heck do you see me as, Luke? Am I some kind of slave to you now?
Nothing I've been doing to you should lead you to thinking that you're a slave. Now you're just making me look like the bad person here.
But look, you're telling me that I'm not allowed to go to the hospital after I've been seriously hurt. It's like you're not letting me have a basic human right.
I guess all of this talk doesn't seem to be working for you, huh? I'm just telling you that you can't be going to the hospital over a small injury like that burn you got. Now stop trying to change the conversation, making yourself look like the victim here. This is the reason why I hate having to talk to and deal with idiots.
I'm here because this isn't some small little burn like you continue to say it is.
You said that just a blister had formed on it, right? All you had to do was run a needle through it and let out the fluid and then get back to your daily life, letting it heal on its own.
Well, everywhere I looked online said that you're not supposed to break open the blister.
Stop taking everything the internet has to say on it as the truth. You really are the most stupid idiot I know. I'd like it if you used that head of yours to think on your own for once. That's the reason why you're so useless and couldn't do your job before.
Me not having a job has nothing to do with this, Luke.
No, it really does have something to do with this. Anyhow, you don't need to be at that hospital anymore, so you leave that waiting room right now and go get my flash drive to bring to my office. There are things on that flash drive that I'll need for my meetings this afternoon. Hey, are you even reading these texts anymore? Reply to me right now, acknowledging that you've read all of this.
I am reading everything. I will have the flash drive to you by 4 p.m., so just hang tight and wait for me. I'm next in line to be called back to be seen by the doctor.
You're really dragging this all out now. I guess I have no choice. Do you understand what I'm saying? I want that flash drive in my office by 3 p.m., all right? If you're late by even a minute, I'm not gonna go easy on you. Now you hurry the hell up, you useless bitch! Hey, I'm gonna be meeting with a customer tomorrow, so make sure to shine my shoes by then. And take my suit to the dry cleaners and have it ready for me by the end of today. That means you take it there right now so that you don't forget. Recently, you have been of no use to me, seriously.
I already handed in your suit to the dry cleaners, along with those divorce papers to the courthouse.
Huh? Divorce papers?
Luke, that jacket you threw at me earlier today had filled out divorce papers shoved into its left pocket, right? I took a look through all of it and you even had it all signed. I made sure the lady at the front desk could have and process them.
What? You have it all wrong. You go back there right now and get those papers back from her.
She already took and processed them, so it's too late now. Thank you so much for filling out everything properly so that she didn't have anything to hand back to me. And now you and I are just strangers to one another.
What kind of selfish crap have you done? Are you screwing around right now?
What? I found the letter that you had written to me as well in your suit jacket's pocket. What was written inside of it shocked me at first, saying that you could no longer handle living with me and wanted me gone with a divorce. But then I remembered what you said about having to do as you say, and so I didn't go against you and made sure to hand the divorce papers in. You always wanted me to listen to you, right?
I did, but this time it was different. I never wanted to actually hand you those divorce papers and that letter yet.
So, you had no intentions of handing them to me, but you got them all ready just in case? I don't see what you think is so wrong with me handing them in for you today. At this point, it's too late to think about that now, because I already handed them in, and we are a divorced couple. I've already gotten most of my things together now, and will be leaving your house for good.
Huh? Where the hell do you think you'll be going after?
What does that matter to you?
It matters a lot to me. I'm not going to allow you to leave my house.
Who do you even think you are, bossing me around like that still? To me, you are nothing more than a stranger now. That doesn't have any rights regarding me anymore.
Even now, I'm still your husband, and for starters, how do you even plan to survive without me around you anymore? As someone who's always had to rely on me for everything.
I was not relying on you for everything, so I'll be perfectly fine on my own. I don't need you keeping me in your house anymore, so just leave me alone. I will find my own job again, and I will be able to make my own income again like things were before I married you.
Are you kidding me? There's not a job in this world someone as useless as you could do. Someone who's nothing more to this world than a mindless cockroach.
I'm not just some mindless pest. Actually, I had already talked with some family, and they were able to set me up with a job and everything. One of their friends happens to be a farmer, and they are currently in need of hands. I'll be able to stay out on their farm for a while, and they will give me food and everything as well while I work. So, my plan is to go there and try my best to see where I can get.
Stop saying such stupid things. You really think you'll be able to do something like farming? Especially when you don't even have any meat on those bones of yours.
Stop judging my ability to work on a farm only based off my physique. You may not see it, but I can do a whole lot more than even you probably can. You're just wanting me to think that I can't do anything on my own in order to keep me by your side, right? That way you won't ever have to do anything for yourself, and you can have me slaving away at home for the rest of your life.
You can't really be serious right now, right? Are you sure you didn't bang your head on anything this morning?
Sure, when I saw those divorce papers and the letter in your jacket's pocket earlier, it was like getting punched in the head after the amount of shock that I had felt. But that only lasted an instant, because after that, my eyes were completely opened. I finally saw that this was my one and only chance. God gave me the chance that I had been needing to finally run away from this horrible life I'd been living with you.
You don't have to go out into the world and live on your own again, so you come back to me and stay by my side where you've always been.
Who the hell do you think would want to go back to the life of being your slave? Sure, for a second there, I was leaning back and forth on whether to really divorce you or not, since it has been your income keeping me alive. But when I thought about all of the time I'd wasted being with someone who doesn't even care about my health and safety, I knew what the right choice was. It was not being beside you.
Have you already gone and left the house yet? If you have, you get your ass back here right now! I was able to get some marriage paperwork together for us to bring into the courthouse. I've already signed everything, and as long as you place your signatures on here, then we can go back to the way things were.
I'm not going back to the way things were, though.
But we can! As long as you come and sign these papers, we can! So you come back here right now!
I'm not going back to sign those papers, and I'm not going back to you. I no longer want to go back to that life I had with you before. I'd rather have the life I'm going to have now, even if it isn't as secure as the one I had under you. I want to become free again, and have the life that I had before I ever met you.
Why do you keep going on about such nonsense right now?
If you really want to take me back as your wife and make me into the slave you were using me as before, then you'd better explain some things to me first, right? What the hell was your reason for having that filled out paperwork and a letter written to me wanting a divorce? If you never wanted for the two of us to end up divorced, then why would you go through the effort of making up those two things?
I didn't write those things because I wanted to, but because I had to.
Now you're making even less sense, Luke.
If I tell you what all happened there, are you gonna come back to me?
We'll just have to wait and see about that. But if you at least tell me what all of that was about, then I'll give going back to you some thought. So, Luke, who was it that forced you to write that letter to me and fill out all of those divorce papers?
How can I say this? My girlfriend.
Excuse me?
We were only really together to have some fun, so you can't really call her a girlfriend. It's just, I don't really know how to explain all of this, so I called her my girlfriend just then.
So, you're confessing to having had an affair while you were with me?
I suppose that's how things would seem.
I'm starting to get it now. And that's your reason for wanting to divorce me, right?
Not right at all. I was just with her in order to have a little bit of fun, but that woman got the wrong idea from it. She started to go on and on about when I would be leaving my wife. She told me that if I didn't leave you soon and left her behind, she'd go to my office and tell everyone there about it. So in order to get her to shut up for a while, I made up a fake divorce letter and filled out some paperwork. That's all.
I was always wondering why recently you'd been coming home from work later and later. But now I finally know what that was all about. I can agree with things a little better.
When it comes to things like having fun with other women, all men are doing it.
You can't seriously believe that every man is doing something like having an affair just for fun. You just happen to be a pile of trash is all. Well, it's not like any of that means anything to me anymore now. You and I have already gotten our divorce now, so how about you go ahead and get married to her now?
Huh? There's no way in hell I'd get married to someone like her. Who the hell would want to get married to such a young and stupid child like her?
What the hell was that you just said? Sure, she may have just been for fun, but you were the one that chose to have sex with her, right? Which means you have no right saying those kinds of things about her.
The only thing she knows how to do is please a man, and that's it. She has some really nice breasts, and her face looks pretty good in dim light, but her head is so bad that she can't even speak correctly from time to time. It was just her looks that got a man of my position to move her up a little bit in the company, as long as she pleased me in some ways. Had she not had that body, I would have fired her for trying to lead me on in a heartbeat.
So, it's someone who works in the same company as you? Well, she's not the only one you've been making fun of. You seem to have enjoyed doing the same things to me, right? To you, her and I aren't that much different from one another, are we? If anything, to a man with the ideas of you would be much happier with someone like her who has a job than some idiot housewife like myself, right?
What are you talking about right now? Sure, you can't work a job or anything, but your family has a lot of money and you went to a really good university, right? Her family is all poor, and she never went to college or anything after high school. She's the kind of woman I could never show to my parents. And when it comes to women, they don't have to work in the first place. The job of a woman is to take care of the home and nothing else.
Then tell me, why the hell have you been picking on me all the time for never working or anything?
I just assumed that if I used that as a way of speaking down to you, you'd listen to me a lot more.
You think I want to listen to someone who repeatedly tells me that? All you were doing was breaking my heart over and over and over again. If you do end up getting married again to someone else, you'd better be careful about that. Don't hurt any other women like you'd gone and hurt me.
Wait! You really just had the wrong idea about all of that. Let's get back together now.
No, thank you. Not only did you treat me like crap when I was your wife, but the thought of how you were having an affair as well makes me want to vomit now. I have had enough of your kind for one life.
Nina, listen to this. I just had a talk with that woman I was with behind your back, and we've broken up now. She said a lot of crap about me, but I just ignored it all and threw her away. So could you please come back to my side now?
What makes you think I need to go back to being with you just because you broke up with that woman?
I'm no longer involved with her anymore and will never be seeing her again. And I promise that from here on out, I will never have another affair ever again. So could you please come back to my house now?
Not sure how many more times I'll have to say this to you, but I'm not going back to you. I'm going to change my life for the better.
But I've had a change of heart and everything, Nina. I want to apologize to you for all of those horrible things I'd said about you before. I am so sorry.
The fact that it took you this long to say sorry to me for some of those things means you'll definitely do it all again to me. I get what kind of man you are, because I've been watching you for years and years now.
I understand that what I did really made you lose all your faith in me, but can you please find some way to give me one more chance? I promise that I won't take advantage of you ever again.
You were taking advantage of me?
I just assumed that no matter how mean I was to you, you'd never stop loving me and would never leave. I'm sure that at one point you never wanted to leave me either, right? Well, I was wrong about all of that as you were slipping away from me right in front of my own eyes. I am so sorry for never noticing anything sooner.
Disgusting.
What?
No matter how many times you apologize to me, I will not forgive you for what you've done, and I will not marry you ever again. And now, after all the hell you had put me through during our marriage and for having cheated on me with that other woman, I'm going to get a settlement from you.
A settlement? You're joking about that, right?
From now on, I'm going to have to fend for myself, so I would like for there to be a little bit of money coming to me. With both the verbal and physical harassment, as well as you having that affair, I have two very good reasons for getting a large settlement out of you.
What are you talking about? So all of this was just for the money?
Excuse me?
So that's the way you're gonna wring me of my money and then throw me away? Even though I did so much for you over the years. Sure, I did some pretty bad things to you as well, but I was still taking care of you in my house, right?
Huh? Cut that crap out right now, acting like you're the victim of anything. Who the hell do you think you are saying all that crap after having caused me bodily harm? Everything you are doing to me is considered domestic violence. Now that you're aware of that, you're going to pay me as much as I ask, and then we can stop talking. I do not have it in me anymore to go on and on and on with you about how sorry you feel and want me to remarry you again.
What happened to you? All of those cold things you're saying to me now, that's not like you, Nina!
What the hell are you actually going on about? The only Nina you know is the one you forced to be your slave, and that's all right? Well, the Nina you're talking to right now is the real Nina. And right now, I want to cut ties to you as soon as freaking possible.
You were once a really kind woman, though, right? You had such an open heart, and you would forgive me for anything I'd done.
I had to forgive you because you scared the hell out of me. That was never the real me then. Because of you and your harassment, my life was turned upside down. And that's why now, I'm wanting to throw it all away and start fresh.
So you're gonna throw me away as well, even though I was doing it all for you.
If you're going to say that taking away my freedom and hurting me whenever I stepped out of line was for my sake, then you're mistaken. And that is why you're being abandoned now. The reason things have had to come to this, where I'm having to punish you now, is because of your actions. For having been together for so long now, and yet you still never noticed the hell I had to go through because of you. Tell me, who the hell is the real idiot out of the two of us? After that, I got plenty of messages from Luke saying that he really wanted to see me again and that he really wanted me to get back in touch with him, but I never once replied to him. I had my lawyer give him a call one day after all the texts from him became too much for me, and the lawyer told Luke that he'd have to talk to him now. I couldn't take any more of that idiot's crying and sobbing, and that's why I made things all the more tough on him. Talks with Luke about everything were anything but smooth for myself, and in the end we had to take the whole situation to court. But in the end, I was able to get close to $100,000 from him in the settlement, and the divorce was officially finalized, and we were no longer husband and wife. Seems that Luke wasn't able to accept any of what had happened there, and he ran all the way back to his parents crying for their help. But both of his parents happened to be well put together people and told him to shut up and let the divorce happen because there was nothing else he could do. Then, in an act of revenge for having thrown her away, Luke's girlfriend, or now ex-girlfriend, went to the company and told everyone the news about how he had had an affair with her. This led to Luke being placed under investigation by the company, where they had learned all of the secret raises and promotions he'd give his ex for doing nasty favors for him after work. Things are leading towards Luke being transferred out of the state and into a new office, and losing his job as a manager, as well as having his salary halved, which leaves me feeling so much better inside. On the other hand, when things come to myself, I have been starting my new life fresh, and I've had more time to really enjoy myself. I feel so much better about the person I am and can actually love me again. I am so fortunate to have been given the chance to run away from such a pile of crap man as Luke and will be forever grateful for it.
Hey sis, I know you're looking at this text message, so can't you just respond to me? Why are you continuing to ignore all my text messages and phone calls?
That's because I have nothing to say to you.
Come on. Why are you holding a grudge?
Are you saying that you don't know why I'm upset? Even though you did something that horrible to me? You're actually trying to pretend like you don't have any idea about this?
Oh, are you referring to the fact that I stole your fiancé? Well, I'm so sorry about that. But unfortunately, he is all mine now, so I can't give him back to you. As a matter of fact, we even promised to get married soon. So you can just give up because there is no way he's coming back to you.
Can you just stop fooling around with me? How can you be so annoying? You've gone all the way to destroy my happiness, so what kind of attitude is that?
Nope, you're getting this all wrong. Because I'm not the one who destroyed it. You're the one who lost your fiancé, and it's completely your fault. You just got dumped because you're not attractive enough. So don't come blaming that on me, okay? Because that's just so miserable.
No, it's because you seduced my fiancé deliberately. I've always wanted to say this to you, but you know that you've always been like that from the past. You just like stealing men from their girlfriends, right? It's like such a bad habit you never can seem to quit, isn't it? Well, I didn't think it would go this far, affecting your actual sister, but you're just so helpless, you know?
What? How can you say such a thing to your little sister? Don't take a foolish rumor seriously.
As your sister, I've heard so many bad rumors about you stealing people's boyfriends from quite a while ago. I've even directly received a complaint from a girl who got her boyfriend stolen by you just because I was your big sister.
Oh, really? It's such a surprise to know that now. Well, why didn't you tell me about that before? I guess you were in charge of handling my complaints on behalf of me, weren't you? Well, I appreciate you for doing that for me.
Oh, you are so annoying. Do you know how I felt hearing those rumors and handling those complaints about you as your sister?
But you can't just blame everything on me, you know? Because if people really do have complaints, they should have told me directly in my face and not you. But I guess it's easier for them to say it to you because you seem to be more timid than me. Oh, I guess all women are just so palliative about these things. Well, that's why they're all stupid enough to get their men easily stolen by others. So I guess they deserve that anyway.
Oh, so now you do admit that you did steal men from others?
Nope. Just ignore what I just said.
Nope. I guess the reason why they come telling me is because they all know that it's no use talking to you directly.
Yeah, that may be true, because I don't really care if they even start yelling at me. Actually, it makes me get more excited if they get angry and continue to yell at me like that.
What? I can't believe that. You're just so insane to think like that, you know? Why does being yelled at by people make you feel more excited? I really just don't get it.
They yell at me because they're all probably just stressed out about that, right? Which means that I have won over that girl. That actually makes me excited. So I guess this is all about winning over other girls knowing that I'm the most attractive of them all.
Oh, whatever. But that's just so pathetic, you know? And that means that it's completely useless for me to yell at you about this either, so I'm not going to.
You can try yelling at me all you want, you know, because that's just going to get me more excited.
Oh, just forget about that, because I definitely don't feel like entertaining you at all.
Well then, why don't you just quietly withdraw from this? And just watch us get happy together, feeling envious about our marriage.
Well, unfortunately, I won't feel that way about you two. But I've just got to ask you, just tell me, why did it have to be him? I know that you could have caught any other guys out there, right? Why was it necessary to steal your sister's fiancé out of all the other guys out there?
Because, from my experience, there was no other high-status guy than your fiancé, right? He's so handsome and is the son of a wealthy man, right? He was just the perfect guy for me, which I have been searching for. If you're going to get married, you should definitely choose a man from a distinguished family. And of course, the richer, the better. Because whatever happens, his family is a strong backup and will be able to support me.
Oh, so I get it now. I guess this was just all about money. And you went all the way to steal your sister's fiancé just for money?
No matter what you or other people say, I do think that money is so important when it comes to marriage. I've always thought that I wanted to marry a rich man and live a better life since I was young. And that was just something I could never compromise about that condition. So I really appreciate you finding such a perfect husband for me, sis. Thanks to you, I've saved so much time and effort to have to search for my perfect future husband. I definitely wouldn't have met a guy like him if it weren't for you.
Just remember that I didn't find him for you. You just went ahead and stole him from me without my permission. But I guess I should blame myself that I didn't have the eye to judge that he was such a jerk to switch over to his fiance's little sister. I definitely don't need such a pathetic guy, so he's all yours. I'm so glad that I didn't have to marry him.
Well, he's already my guy, you know. So don't try to insult him, okay? Don't worry, because I'll definitely live a happy life with him for you, too.
Hey, Amy, I need to talk to you right now. What are you actually thinking? Why did you send me your wedding invitation?
Oh, so has the invitation already arrived? Because this is a big event for me that happens only once in a lifetime. So of course I want to be celebrated by my family. Because you're my sister and you're the one that helped us find each other. So I just want you to be there for me.
So you're actually saying that I have to see my little sister and my ex-fiancé get married with my own eyes? I just can't believe this. How can you continue to do things like this to me? After making me go through all of this, how far do you have to go to make me feel miserable? And I know that you're just enjoying this, watching me feel this way.
Hey sis, don't tell me that you're still having trouble getting over this. It's already been a month, so can't you just let it go and forget about it? You're the one who said that you don't care about him anymore. So you need to start accepting the reality because there's nothing you can do to stop our marriage now.
Well, it's actually only been a month. However long it takes, I will never forget my resentment towards you.
Wow. I didn't know that you were such a narrow-minded person. Oh well, I can now see why you get dumped by men too.
Do you seriously think that people who go on to destroy other people's happiness can become happy? I just know that you're definitely going to have to pay for this someday and that you're going to regret this. So you'd better be really careful of what you say and do from now on.
Huh? What's that? Is this what you call a loser's whining? Even if you say such a thing, unfortunately, that's not going to hurt me at all. So it's just useless to do that to me, you know.
No, I'm definitely not whining, but I guess you're right about being useless talking to you any further. Because even if you have been going through all of this from the past, nothing actually seems to hit you anyway. You're probably just critically missing something important as a human. That's why you can do such a horrible thing to me and other people as well.
But don't you think your ex-fiancé has also become happier now by switching over from you to me? Because I'm absolutely more beautiful than you, and good at getting around with people and the society, and I do believe I can work things out with his parents better than you. So I guess you should be happy for him to find a perfect wife like me.
What actually makes you think that you're so good at getting around? Don't you remember that you've been hated by so many people all throughout your life? I don't think that you're going to be able to change that fact, and that is definitely going to come back to you someday.
Women who are so attractive can help getting hated by other people, you know. So I guess I've gotten completely used to that and don't really care what those people think about me. Because humans are living creatures that envy people who are more happier than them. If you're so upset about having your fiancé stolen by me, why don't you go ahead and try to find a new guy? Finding a new guy is the best way to move on, you know. And actually, you might find a good guy if you attend our wedding.
Well, thanks for your offer, but I definitely don't need a boyfriend for a while.
Why don't you have him introduce you to one of his friends? He might actually have friends who are also rich, you know. So wouldn't that be just perfect for you?
No, I'm definitely not going to your wedding, so I guess you can just forget about that.
Really? Oh, come on. Well, there are 4 more months until the wedding ceremony, so why don't you take some time to think about all of this? Because you might even change your mind.
Hi, Yulia. I just contacted you checking up to see how you've been doing lately. I haven't heard from you for quite a while, but are you quite busy with work?
Hey, Mom. I'm sorry I haven't sent you any text messages recently. You must have been worried about me. Actually, I've been a bit busy these days.
Well, I hope you're doing okay with everything.
Yeah, don't worry. Everything's going fine.
Really? But you've heard that Amy's getting married. Honestly, don't you have any thoughts towards that?
Why do you think so?
Well, it's just a mother's instinct. Actually, Amy brought her fiancé over to our house today. He was such a nice person, but I just thought that his characteristics seemed to be similar to your fiancé you told me about. So, just tell me that. This is just a coincidence that you and Amy's fiancé seem to be similar, right? I just have this strange feeling.
Oh, now I see why you contacted me and are asking me about this. Mom, I'm so surprised that you still remembered about what I said to you before.
Of course I still remember about what you said. So, you were still getting along with your fiancé, right?
Actually, I'm not. And what you said is not a coincidence, Mom. Your instincts are absolutely right about this. The fiancé that Amy brought to you today is actually the guy I told you about and was going to have you meet someday. And we were actually planning to get married, but that just didn't happen as he met Amy. Isn't it so miserable to have my fiancé actually get stolen by my little sister? I never imagined something like this happening to me, and honestly, I just don't know how to handle my feelings and overcome this tragedy now.
Oh dear, Yulia. No, that cannot be true. This must be a joke, right?
And Mom, listen, to make things even worse, Amy just sent me her wedding invitation, and she asked me to attend her wedding.
What? Really?
I guess she just wanted to enjoy seeing me feel so miserable about this. I can't believe she can do such a thing to me. But I'm definitely not going to her wedding anyway. I'm so sorry, Mom, to talk to you about this when you should be happy for the family. I know this made you have complicated feelings about Amy's marriage and the relationship of the two of us now, but I just needed someone to talk about this.
Oh, Yulia, don't worry about me. I just don't know what to say. That must have been so tough for you.
Yeah, it was pretty tough for me as I couldn't even talk to you about this. But Mom, I remember you always saying this to us. Since we're the only two sisters in the world, that we should always try and get along with each other. I've tried doing so, like you said, but I don't think I can take this any longer, and I've reached my limits. Even though she's my sister, I don't think I can bear with Amy's selfishness anymore.
So it sounds like this is not the first time you're trying to put up with this. Did you experience something similar with Amy before?
Actually, this is the first time I had my boyfriend stolen, but she's stolen many things in the past. Like toys, clothes, and accessories, you know? Amy just loves stealing things from people since she was young, and many people are suffering from that. And it's definitely not the first time she's stolen other people's boyfriends.
Oh, really? That's just so terrible.
But I didn't think she would go so far as to actually steal my fiancé as well.
I can't believe this. How can she steal her sister's fiancé too? I'm so disappointed to know that she was that stupid.
Well, that's a big surprise. I can't believe you would say such things and get so upset because you're usually so kind and don't get emotional about things.
Of course I'm upset, and I can never forgive her for doing this to you. So it's going to be all right, don't worry, because I will definitely attend the wedding, and I'm going to put your sister through hell.
Wait, Mom, I can't believe it. What did you just say? Is this really you, Mom?
Of course it's me, and I'm not kidding about this. You absolutely can't just give in and let both of them do this to you. I'm going to support you through, so let's just destroy this wedding and make revenge.
Yeah, but are you really sure about this? Amy is actually your other daughter, you know, and she's going to get married.
Of course I'm serious about this. She can't be forgiven by trying to become happy by making someone else sacrifice for it. They absolutely need to compensate for what they have done to you. And I'm definitely not holding back, even if it's my actual daughter. Because as her mother, I must show her what's wrong is wrong. So let's just make this all clear for her that she deserves to be punished about this.
But what are you actually going to do to her? Even if you try approaching her straightforward, you know that it's going to be useless because it's never going to hit her. Because she's got a lot of nerve, you know? It just has to be something really shocking to her if we're going to make her regret this.
Yeah, of course I know. She's my daughter after all. How about this? Since I know she's so particular about the wedding, I suppose making her lose face and embarrassing her at the wedding in front of her guest would be the most effective.
Yeah, I definitely agree to that. The wedding is the best place for the revenge, since it seems that they've been putting a lot of money into the wedding ceremony. Hey, wait, I think I have a good idea. Mom, I'll figure out how to work this plan out on my end, so could you just pretend to be on Amy's side and be supportive to her?
Hey, Yulia. Just look at the sky today. It's such a beautiful sunny day. Isn't it the perfect weather for our wedding ceremony?
Yeah, I guess it is.
Hey, sis, are you really not coming to our wedding today? I really did wish all of our family could celebrate my wedding together.
No, I'm not going, but Mom is attending the wedding, right? So isn't that enough for you?
Well, yeah. I guess as long as Mom can come, I'm happy with that. But I really wish you had come with her too, because I really wanted to show you our wedding. And just to let you know, I actually did tell Mom about the past relationship between you and him, because I knew that you had been telling Mom about your fiancé before. So I just thought I shouldn't keep this as a secret from her, since I knew that she would eventually notice about these things anyway. Although I thought that she would get angry about this. Surprisingly, She didn't get upset at all and just accepted the fact.
Oh, really? Is that so?
So I guess it means Mom is actually on my side, right? Sis, you've even been abandoned by your own mom now. You poor thing. I just don't know what to say and feel so sorry for you. But you can't help it, and I guess you're just going to have to live with it. Because it's a fact that I'm more prettier than you. You should start admitting that and accept it. And I can't blame Mom for choosing the better daughter.
Well, I guess that's true. If I've been abandoned by my fiancé and even by my own mom, I will have to feel so miserable.
Well, that's pretty strange that you're accepting the situation. But I'm glad that you finally are.
And you know what? I'm becoming even more miserable. I'm so glad I chose not to go to your wedding. Because your friends are all posting pictures of the wedding venue on social. It looks like you're having a really luxurious wedding ceremony.
Oh, so you've seen the photos already? Well, yeah, it is going to be quite a big ceremony. Since his family is so rich, we just put so much money into this wedding ceremony. And it seems that his family is going to pay for all of the wedding ceremony fees.
Really? They're paying for all of the costs? Wow, they are really rich, aren't they?
They're saying that this wedding ceremony is their wedding gift to us. I'm so glad to be able to marry such a rich guy. And I'm going to continue to live a rich life, so how lucky am I?
Well, if you have such a reliable sponsor like that, I guess you can put in all the money you want into the wedding ceremony. You can just go ahead and choose all the options you wish without being concerned about the costs.
I know! So knowing that, I included everything I wanted, putting all the money into this, and just made this to become my perfect wedding ceremony. So I really wanted to show this ceremony to you too.
Well, thanks, but as I said, I'm fine with not attending your wedding. Because I'll just continue to pray that your wedding goes well from here at home.
Huh? Of course my wedding will be just perfect and everything will go well. There is absolutely no doubt about that. So what are you saying?
Oh, yeah, of course it will. Sorry to say such a strange thing at your best moment of life. Well, I wish you two happiness forever. And I do think you were meant to be together.
You suddenly seem like a good loser, and it's definitely scaring me. Did you perhaps go crazy or something? I'm so curious about what actually made you change your mind about this.
Oh, don't be silly, Amy. As your sister, I'm just simply trying to celebrate this happiest day for you. Because it really is a happy day for our family, too.
Hey, Yulia? Just tell me, what have you done? I know that you've been teaming up with Mom all this time to do this to me, haven't you?
Amy, what's going on? Did anything actually happen to you or the wedding? And aren't you supposed to be in the middle of the wedding reception right now? I don't think you should be sending a text to me at a time like this, you know.
Hey, don't try to play dumb with me now. You cooperated with Mom to destroy our wedding, didn't you? How could you do such a thing to me in my wedding? And what was that video?
Oh, so you finally saw the video? It's a surprise video that Mom prepared just for you, and I appeared on it too. You did see lots of other people in it too, right? And you do recognize all of them, right? Because remember, they are all the victims who had their boyfriends stolen by you.
I can't believe you showed such a video at my wedding.
I guess everyone now knows what kind of a person you really are.
The whole wedding went into a panic because of that, you know. And thanks to you, the wedding had to be canceled in the middle of the reception.
What? You didn't have to cancel it. Why don't you just continue the wedding? Since you've got such a nerve to steal others' boyfriends, I would think you wouldn't mind continuing your wedding even in a situation like that.
Do you know that his parents just got furious seeing this? Rich people just hate being insulted about their reputation, you know. And you know our boss from our companies were attending the wedding too. I just don't know what will happen to my career either. I can't believe both you and Mom can do such a horrible thing to me on the happiest day of my life. How are you going to take this responsibility?
As I do know this was a horrible thing to do, I had to go this far to make you regret about everything you've done to me. I knew that it would be just useless to blame you straightforward, so I had no choice but to humiliate you in front of your guests at your wedding. So, what are you actually going to do now about your wedding and marriage under this condition? Do you really think that his parents will let you get married to him after going through all of this?
Well, that's what I'm trying to persuade them now.
What? Persuade them? Well, that's going to be totally meaningless. Because it seems that Mom has already discussed directly with his parents about your marriage. I just got a text message from her now that she's settled this matter with them.
So, that was what she was doing at my wedding. I was wondering where she went because I couldn't find her anywhere, but I guess she was seeing his parents.
I feel so sorry that the matter is getting even worse for you, but in addition, I have more bad news I need to tell you. Unfortunately, it seems that his parents are not going to pay for the wedding fee at all, knowing all about this now.
What? No, that can't be true. Well, then who's going to pay for that?
I heard that you spent as much as $100,000 on this wedding. That is just so surprising. But unfortunately, you're the one who's going to have to pay back this expensive wedding fee on your own now.
You just went ahead and destroyed my wedding, and now you're saying that I have to pay for all of this by myself? That's so insane, and that's just not fair. You know that I don't have that kind of money, and it's impossible for me to pay for all of this.
Oh yeah, that's right. I just remembered. I've noticed that you've always been spending money wastefully and had some debt. Don't tell me you still haven't paid that off and still have some debt left. In addition to that, if the expensive wedding fee invoice comes, then I guess you're just going to be hopeless.
Oh, this is all such a barefaced lie. I know that you planned all of this knowing that I was tight financially and still had debts, didn't you?
Yeah, of course I did.
And isn't Mom so horrible to team up with you? I can't believe she is a mother that can destroy her daughter's happiest wedding.
Hey, don't get this wrong. Because remember, you're the one who started this first, destroying my happiness. It seems that you completely misunderstood Mom was on your side, but that's totally wrong. Because when I told her about what you did to me, she was more angry about this than me. I've never seen her so furious in my whole life, and it seems that she just couldn't forgive you.
It's even the first time for me, too. I've never seen Mom look at me with such cold eyes.
And for your information, unfortunately, Mom has decided to cut off the relationship with you, and so am I. So you're going to have to handle this all by yourself.
Hey, wait! You need to help me pay back the money because this is all your fault.
Huh? Why do I have to pay for it?
This is going to ruin my whole life. There will probably be bad rumors about me as everyone has seen this video, and there will be no one who I can rely on. I just don't know what to do.
Well, I'm sorry, but I refuse. Because I'm not going to have any relationships with you anymore, so don't even try relying on me. And I can't believe you still have the nerve to ask me to help you out after going through all of this.
Please, Yulia, you've got to help me out.
Like I said, I am definitely not going to help you out, so you should just give up on that. So why don't you have your rich husband help you pay for all the wedding fees? Because since he's also rich, that should be no problem for him, right?
Unfortunately, that's probably not possible for him. Because it's his family that is rich, and he actually doesn't have that much money by himself. And what makes the situation worse is that his parents are also trying to cut off their relationship with him too. Because it seems that his mother didn't like the fact that he was cheating with me while he was dating you.
Oh, is that so? Isn't that such a pity for him too? Well, that's a relief to know that his rich parents at least have a proper sense of understanding. So why don't you two just get doomed and live a happy life together? Because you did get married and exchanged wedding vows to love and cherish each other in sickness and in health, to have and to hold from this day forward. Right? After that, it seems that my little sister's wedding had been canceled after all. Amy and her fiancé eventually broke off the marriage, arguing against each other with such a helpless matter of which one is to blame for this incident. It seems my sister and her fiancé settled to pay each half of the wedding fee. And of course, there will be no financial help or support from their rich parents for the canceled wedding fee. To make matters worse, my sister's fiancé had eventually lost trust from his boss as well, and had to give up his promotions for a successful career. And as Amy had such a big amount of debt to pay off, she also started taking an additional job to work during the night as well. The incident at the wedding had spread across to be known as a really humiliating story for Amy, and unfortunately she had to give up on all of her past relationships she had built with people around her. However, as she needed to continue to pay off her debt, she couldn't simply quit her main job because of that. So even though she continued to feel humiliated at her workplace, she had no choice but to bear with it and keep working at the same company even under that situation. And now, Amy and her fiancé have both been cut off by their relationship with their parents, as they can't ask for further support from either of their families because they're completely on their own now trying to pay off their debts. As I moved back into my parents' house, I'm currently living together with my mother now. Although my mother tries to cheer me up, saying that I will probably be able to fall in love again with someone. I'm still trying to gradually recover from my hurt feelings, so I really don't feel like going into a serious relationship for a while after going through all of this, being betrayed by my actual little sister and ex-fiancé. It's not like I'm giving up on the marriage, but I just want to be more careful about choosing my partner and my future waiting ahead. Because I know that getting married to a perfect husband and living a happy life is going to be the best revenge towards my sister. Thank you for watching Peep Talk videos. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Also, feel free to leave any comments. Please visit us again to check out the next video.